The sweet retro sound, Living in a Box by Living in a Box. It's 9:25 in the morning. The first picture of Paul Masefield in studio has gone up at twitter.com/HRISHIKAY and facebook.com/HRISHIKAY. His reputation is on the line.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
I'm surprised you're not on Twitter and Facebook. Why?
I had a few issues a couple of years ago.
Like?
Obviously, being a pundit throughout Asia with ESPN Star Sports. I was receiving death threats because I like to tell things how they are, which is if a team plays well, I say they play well. If they play badly, I say they play badly. And I think certain people are that passionate about their teams that they reverted to abusing me on Facebook. So rather than report everybody, I just didn't bother. I just closed it down and was having no more with it. But I think I've been told I've got to start back up again. So we'll see how that one goes.
All of a sudden, I'm worried if I have to trash somebody's next record. How does one get into your academies here? All the stuff, all the hard work that you're doing, putting in. If parents were to put their kids in, if people are listening and they want to involve themselves.
Well, they can go onto Facebook, but obviously I won't be there to start with. And go to KOOH Sports, KOOH Sports, and search there. They'll be able to find out about all the
lots of
programs
people are really impressed by Paul Masefield's
but also for
skills on the mic. But he is a pro, isn't he? Getting jiggy with it. Will Smith, 9:44.
Foundation School in Hawaii, so that should be quite interesting. We're hoping that a lot of parents send down the kids
you
and
actually
come down
threw
and
a
have a little
question
bit of
at me
fun
and said
we'll just teach them some
maximum
basics of football,
viewership
let them
in
get
a
involved,
football
let them all
game,
have a bit
and
of
the
fun. That's
figures
what football's about.
were astounding. Now, just
repeat
share that with everybody who's listening. You didn't give out the time. You just said the venue.
It was a few years ago. 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. A lot of people wouldn't pick Hiranandani Manchester United versus Liverpool.
Well done, my friend, on the pronunciation. You like Indian curries, though. I mean, half of the UK is Indian curries.
I live in Birmingham, so that's even better. That was Manchester City versus all over the UK to come to Birmingham just to eat the Indian food, because it was the first time very Chinese national.
And you go to Edgbaston and watch a couple of cricket games, yes?
We used to have a reciprocal with them, Birmingham City.
I associate with Daria, I sitting right outside the studio, he's texting me, all that's in China. He's coy and shy because he's a football fan. We've got Paul Masefield, my guest here. This question is, who's your top 5 English players and why? And when will England come to the television broadcast on the Bali and Paul Masefield.
It's great. Not good at all. I mean, I've been very lucky in Germany to develop their game. England for the World Cup from Bobby Robson, Brian Robson. In the Premier League, I think we've got to look to Russia, but you can't announce the top players within the view of the PFA. We've done it. Top 5 players, all these players. So, very, very nicely put.
Just terribly behaved Paul.
I mean, those are the type of players that can change the game, that can influence the game. I don't hide behind anything. I don't go around to watch those players in English or make it.
I'm so excited about Myanmar. You too? I'll tell you the rubbish part. No, tell me. Because I don't know if as long as Andy Murray doesn't win, the moment he wins, we'll just say he's from the UK. Why not? We can't be any television. We've got to get an Irish one as well. So everyone says that we consider him English now. And not to get that you do some Neymar is only 2 years. Okay, some messages on Twitter. Sometimes when you see them, they recognize them as occasionally Rollins has always loved Paul, and his no-nonsense analysis. Try combining Farhan Akhtar, the actors, talk about sport and Paul's dad, and India could be a force in football probably by 2030.
It can be quite intimidating.
Samuel Thomas, wow, if you want to bribe a cameraman to just take could you ask him who he thinks are title favourites to win the EPL? Answer that.
You know what Paul Masefield will be doing. I think a lot of people out there will agree
in this country because he's starting in sports academies, and in particular he is the technical director of football, right? Is that's what you call it?
Yeah, that's real. Technical director David Moyes Sports. We're opening a new branch and a new arm of the business, which is still got the kids. But we all know about the check it out if you want to. SuarezSports.com, £40 million, which means that Luis Suarez had to be various a bit of being 85 40 million. So at the moment surrounding country, they're going to be in just the major towns. We're in the smaller towns as well. Man City, I'm not sure on Pellegrini. The World Cup coming up next year. Find some talent at Real Madrid and couldn't win anything.
It's Paul Oakenfold with Shifty Shell Shock. Remember Shifty Shell Shock, the guy who had tattoos all over his body doing
him
come
coming back
already,
and the
come
way that he
already.
manages
You're my
his players.
butterfly. It's the same
And
guy.
how he gets the
Starry-eyed
best out of his
surprise is the
players. So
song.
Chelsea for me,
9:57, time to say bye-bye to Paul Lisa says, is Paul
This
sitting
is Good
topless in the
Morning
studio? How do you have
Mumbai, and
pictures of a
you're with
six-pack?
Hrishi
I'll tell you what, I will put up a very
So
you're a famous man. Other than being a pundit on ESPN and Star Sports and setting up football academies in India with KOOH Sports, having played all that football in Asia and in England, you're also part of a television commercial. That experience, you have to tell us about.
I've done a couple of commercials here and there. I did one the other week and basically went in, somebody had a script for me. They said, oh, you do it first. It was basically a running commentary of action that's going on in the streets, and they took the second one that I did, so I only did the two. And then the script that they'd given me was a rugby script, not a football script. It was supposed to be a football scene, so quite amazed really at the way that some of these ad people think. So if you're an ad guy out there and you're listening to this, or an ad girl out there, think out the box and use experts. Trust me, it helps.
Or pay Paul Masefield to do your scripting too. I mean, why not?
No, I'm trying to get you some gigs here as well, so don't worry about that.
What I really love and respect comes at the end of this entire gig. I mean, other than all, the business and the playing and, being on air and this and that, I'm just delighted to know that straight from here, you're going to the Don Bosco shelter. Beautiful, Paul. Full respect.
I can't wait to go. I mean,
lovely.
It's about giving back as well. And there are children out there and there are families out there that can't afford this. The children that we're going to, it's an orphanage as well. So it's going to be emotional for me because I've been away from my kids for a while now, and it does get you at the back of the throat. And if I can just put a smile in these kids' faces for the day, then at least I've helped a little bit. But that's what we're about with our program as well. We will be giving back. We will be making sure that the underprivileged, that the orphanages, and that children who can't afford the program will be looked after. I don't mind going out and coaching them till midnight myself. If I've got an opportunity to help kids and help develop football and help them with a healthy lifestyle, I'm more than prepared to do it.
Beautiful. And the hunger and the sheer talent to succeed, and the natural instinct that they have is startling. I mean, I spend once a month trying to teach some of these kids to be radio presenters. I tell you, they're so talented. They could give me a run for my money on the radio station. It's just remarkable, some of the talent you'd find in these places, right?
It's absolutely unbelievable. I used to do it in the UK, and I'll never forget the time where it was Christmas time. And we used to get turkeys for Christmas as football players because they don't think that you can go out and buy a turkey. So they gave us this turkey, and I went to one of the people in the office, and I said, "Give me an orphanage. I want to go there. I want to take this turkey." And I went into the club shop, picked up a load of shirts and scarves, and they said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Just tell her I'm taking them. These are for the kids." And I went down there, and the most important thing for me was when we walked in, the kids turned around and said, "We've got turkey for Christmas."
Lovely.
That broke my heart more than anything, more than the presents, more than anything. So I'm all for the kids, and if there's anything that we can do to help enhance their lives and give them the opportunity, then I'm more than willing to help. And like you say, the hunger, the desire, the passion is there from these kids to try and get out of the predicament that they're in. Sometimes it's not their fault, sometimes it is, but everybody has to galvanise and get together and really help and support these kids so that we can give them a brighter future.
I had lots of fun with you, Paul Masefield. Thank you so much for making the trudge here. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, Rish. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for all the pounds you're giving me right now. And thank you, Paul. Wonderful. Yeah, a box more of money, please. Mate, have a good one.
You too.
It's Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer. Man, oh man, look at that career. Everything that gentleman's done. 9:03 in the morning, football man in studio.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
Oh, darn, Paul Darren Masefield, you brought the weather from the UK to Mumbai, haven't you?
What to do? Not at the moment, though, because the Ashes series is going all right.
Yeah, it's going all right. Paul is, a coach, a manager, and a former football player. Is there anything else you play? Any other games? Yeah.
Bit of golf. I like a bit of golf and a bit of cricket.
Okay, I was referring to some other games off the field. But anyway.
Well, but I can't say that on air, right?
What brings an Englishman to Mumbai?
It's fantastic, actually. I mean, it's all to do with football and kids' football. KOOH Sports asked me to come on board as a technical director. They already have lots of academies throughout India doing cricket, hockey, athletics, and they wanted to set up a football league. So they've asked me to come on board and advise, be a technical director, and I accepted. So I live in Singapore. It's not too bad to come over and hopefully be spending a lot more time. And it's my first time here in Mumbai, and it's a beautiful city.
You know that football is a stepchild in India, don't you? I mean, cricket is the son.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell
I
you
hope
something.
it's changing. I pray to God.
Cricket needs to be scared because football is getting that big. And when
Lovely.
you have a look this year, you've got the Premier League, then you've got a World Cup, you've got India bidding for the under-17s World Cup. I'm telling you, if they get that, football will really make its mark throughout India.
I tell you who's going to be really happy. An old mate of mine called Baichung Bhutia was sitting in that chair where you're sitting about 3 months ago going, oh man, you know, if some money would come through and, you know, it's so tough getting the money into the sport and things like that. This is great news. It's lovely.
It is. I played with Baichung. He's a lovely lad. I played with him over in Singapore. We did some stuff on TV with him. Real good kid, real good guy, and you know, it does need to filter down. That's for sure. And I think big news like that with the World Cup, if they could get that the under-17s, it would definitely galvanise the country and push towards football.
I tell you what's wonderful is that, you know, people like him, people like Baichung are going back to their little hamlet, their little village up in the mountains and coaching kids. People like you who have experience in English football are coming to Asia and doing what you're doing in Singapore and here. So the future of Asian football is bright. Yeah, great.
Definitely, all throughout Asia as well, but particularly India because it's been an untapped market. I've had the pleasure on this trip to go to a place like Kota, Amritsar. I've been going out into the suburbs. So our program that we put in is not just about the major cities. It's about going into the mountains and going into the villages and trying to find that talent and helping to develop it.
I like this man, Paul Masefield. He recognizes Peter Gabriel when he walks into the studio, and he's got a bit of good old English cheer. It's 9:06. This is Chris Rea. Man, this guy has a baritone. The road to hell. Enjoy more conversation with Paul Masefield, the football man, an English former football right back, TV pundit who played professional football in England, now is looking to start some amazing academies here in Mumbai City. It's Chris Rea on the road to hell. Okay, in just a couple of minutes, at twitter.com/HRISHIKAY and facebook.com/HRISHIKAY, I will put pictures up of the very handsome Paul Masefield with his six-pack abs.
It's a barrel, mate. It's a barrel or a keg.
and all you ladies can and eat your heart out. Listen, you started your career in the youth ranks alongside Alan Shearer at Southampton. What kind of a bloke is he?
Many years ago. Yeah, great guy. Lovely lad. I met him. I was fortunate enough to work with him in television a few years after that as well, and he was fine, down to earth, great football player. You always knew that Alan was going to go to the top, and a wonderful all-round guy, real nice guy.
And David Moyes is in the news a lot. You spent some time with him too?
Yeah, I played with him at Preston North End, but I just wonder if he's got rid of his big slice when he played golf, but he certainly knows how to he knows how to take charge. I think that's the most important thing, because the one thing about David was he was always a leader on the football field, and he was in charge of the back line. I obviously played alongside him there in defence, and you could tell from very, very early stages that was what he wanted to do with his career, go into management. Very strong character, very, very nice guy, lovely family man as well, has a lovely family, but no, again, another good guy.
Now, I've got a question for you. You know, do Indian kids pass the test in terms of physical ability? There's a lot said in the newspapers about how Indian kids, even if you start them early at 8, 9 and 10, they don't have the physical brawn or the physical ability to match up to their European counterparts. Is that true, false, or what?
I think there's an element of truth in there, but I don't just think it's India. I think it's the whole of Asia. And I think it all comes down to diets. I think that's a really, really big issue throughout Asia, is what you eat, when you eat. And that's one of the big things that in Europe, a lot of people do start on the right foods. And when I say the right foods, I'm on about preparing as an athlete. There are certain foods that you do and don't eat. And I think in Asia, everybody loves their food, and it's so rich and you know, very high in cholesterol and very high in calories. Whereas in Europe, everyone's a little bit more mindful. And that plays a big part in a child's upbringing, in their growth and how they develop as a human being. So I think that's one issue that needs to be addressed. But but I think that's going to change over time. You can't change that overnight, but diet is a huge part in sports.
Okay, now for all those parents who are driving down, thinking of putting their kids into KOOH sports, are you doing that too there? The diet, is it as important? Are you giving the kids a diet plan along with all those football skills?
Everything will be put in together as well. We'll be having regular meetings with the parents, so that's the most important thing. And it's an interactive thing, so the kids have to learn. But again, the mindset has to change for the parents. It's not just about having the stable basis. You've got to have certain foods at certain times if you want to perform. And I'm not just talking about football. This is any sport. Sure. Anywhere in the world, you have to prepare right, and you have to eat the right foods that will give your body the energy to be able to exert yourself and build and develop and grow to go and excel in that sport.
Yeah, we love our carbs, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Carbohydrates are good, but we OD on them. You know, protein is a bit of a protein maybe the weekend, things like that. That's got to change. Yeah, you know, especially if you're looking at a sporting diet. You know?
Yeah, proteins are obviously important. Your vegetables are important as well because of all the goodness that's in them. And again, it's moderation. I think that's the key. Moderation, eat it a lot, sort of 5, 6, 7 meals a day. That's what we were doing as professional players back in the day.
Annie Lennox, I loved her career with Eurythmics, and post-going solo, Diva and Medusa, 2 albums you ought to pick up. This is called Precious Little Angel. 9:14 in the morning. My name is Hrishi K. Paul Masefield, the football man, is in studio with me.